welcome, Monsieur Falardeau, and I'm glad that you're here with us today. And how do you do so far at the festival?
It's fun, it's full and rich, and it's a busy schedule. We have 4 films to see every day, so that's a lot. That's like more than I can normally handle, because when you see a film you want to pause and reflect, but 4 days is actually a lot of work, but I'm with a very nice group of people and we have stimulating conversations after seeing each film.
Okay, and how do you like the city?
Well, I haven't had any time to look at the city yet, and it looks nice, but it would be nicer with some sun, because the temperature is so gray so far and so cold. I come from Montreal and I'm used to cold weather, but this here is very cold.
Yes, really. So we are meeting now in quite unusual circumstances, because it's a quite unusual festival. It concerns young people, not only the viewers, but also the main characters in movies. And young people are also clearly present in your works, like C'est pas moi, je le jure, and Monsieur Lazare. Why is that? Do they and their world inspire you somehow?
Yeah, they must do in some very profound way. But I never sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write a film with a young character. It doesn't happen like that.
Okay.
The subject finds you in a way, and when I did C'est pas moi, je jure, it's not me, I swear, I knew I wanted to talk about childhood, and I was specific to that. When I did Monsieur Lazare, it was more about this immigrant coming to Canada, but he ends up teaching a classroom full of children. So while writing the film, I thought it was important to have also the point of view of the children, so I started developing the children's character. And by looking at all the films this week, I realized how much I liked my own childhood, how much I miss it, how much I would like to relive some instance, which is of course impossible. And I realized how much also it's the only true universal state. No matter what the country, what the culture, we all go through childhood. So it's probably the only true thing that the whole human kind share.
Okay, and once I've read that there is a lot of kindness and patience in the way you show the world on screen. And do you like to show the good in your characters to help people identify with them, or you are the type of an objective observer?
I'm not objective, and I'm not really interested in objective observation in films. I want to see and feel the point of view of the director when I see a film. But that doesn't mean that I want to hear his morale or his opinion. A point of view is not necessarily an opinion, it's a way to look at life. You have a different way than me of looking at life and seeing things, what makes you laugh or not. And this is not necessarily opinion, it's who you are. So it's the same thing with film. How do you look at characters? And I try to balance what is dramatic and funny, because in life it's neither totally dramatic or totally funny. It's both at the same time, and that's what I try to do in my film. So I don't want my films to be about a message. I don't want the audience to go out and say, oh, Philippe Falardeau had a message for us today. I don't care too much for that. I prefer experience, or I prefer sharing a way to look at life.
Okay, thank you. And your stories are so warm and hope-giving. And I personally was moved just seeing the trailer of The Good Life, and I cried 3 times at Monsieur Lazare. And
what do you mean? It was a comedy.
Really?
No.
No, 3 times, really. And do you like to move viewers and touch their sensitive strings?
Again, it's not something I set out to do when I first write a film. But then you work on the film, you work with the actors, and you realize that the movie is going to work if it works emotionally. My objective is not to make people cry. My objective is never to make an actor cry, because I don't think that works for me necessarily. it's also a very personal experience for every viewer. Someone might be emotionally involved, someone might not. But I try to find some truth in the story so that people can identify in one way or another. And like I said before, I'm as interested in emotion than I am in humor. And even in a drama like Monsieur Lazare, I think there are some moments where you do laugh or you do smile,
yeah.
and this is important for me.
But do you have some kind of a satisfaction when you see viewers' reaction, like they are touched?
Of course. The worst reaction is no reaction. I think I prefer a negative reaction than no reaction. At least you can have a discussion. If someone, I had some friends come to me and say, "I'm sorry, you filmed Monsieur Lazare, I don't like it at all." I said, "Okay, why?" And then you start a discussion. But no reaction is the worst. So yes, of course. And Monsieur Lazare did that all over the world. Although, the ironic thing about this film, which I'm very proud of, it's not my personal favorite. First of all, I never watch my own film. After it's done, it's done. But the one about the child, it's not me, I swear, c'est pas moi, je jure, I think resembles me more. Who I am in who I was as a kid. So that's why I prefer this one, even though I understand why Monsieur Lazare touches the people more.
Okay. And mentioned Monsieur Lazare was nominated for Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film, and I believe it's a certain goal for a director and for everyone in this business. And what was like for you? Was it a dream coming true, or was it some kind of a fulfillment, like my job is done, I got it? Did it motivate you, or to do better and further?
It was neither one nor the other. First of all, because it was never my goal to make films in life. It happened as an accident.
Okay.
So when you start making films, you don't think about awards. I'm sure other directors have told you that. And for me, the Oscars was never something I could dream of, because it was like if I'm, playing football for fun, I don't think of playing in the Champions League, because I'm not. So you don't think about that. It's not something that relates to you. And then when you go there, then you think, okay, I must have done something right, but it's only the beginning. It doesn't mean that you have arrived somewhere. It means that people expect things from you now, and you expect things from yourself. And a lot of people have told me that must open a lot of doors. And I tell them, yeah, but what doors? The Good Lie is a film that I've made in the United States, in Hollywood, but it's a small film, and because I really like the story about refugees, African refugees from Sudan. I had been to Sudan when I was younger, so that's why I did it. But I'm not going to make a big movie just because I can. I'm going to make a movie because it means something to me.
Okay. And returning to the festival, being a part of jury, being a juror, is quite a requiring task. And so, what do you or did you expect from the movies that you've seen or you are going to see yet? Do you want a script to move you, or do you want a film to be technically well done?
I want, first of all, in a festival like that, I want to feel that it can talk to a young crowd, that it's an interesting film for a young audience, that they would like it or find it interesting and challenging. But I'm looking also for a second level of craftsmanship, of excellence in the way they make the film. Because I see sometimes a film that, I feel the crowd, they really like it, and because it's a fun film. But you see how the film is done, and it's really very conservative and very ordinary. And for me, I'm looking for more. If I am to give an award to a film, it has also to thrive for excellence artistically, in the way it's framed, in the way it's lit, in the way that the actors are directed. I'm looking also for subtle things. I don't like things that are in your face and underlined.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for both, trying to see the film from a perspective of a young audience, and trying to see if the director or has an original way to approach storytelling.
Okay, so this is my last question, and it's more personal. Is it your first time in Poland?
Yeah, it's the first time. And honestly, I've been wanting to come here for a while now. After my It's Not Me, I Swear was screened at the Berlin Film Festival, I was invited to come here. I know the film came, I couldn't because I was working, and I had promised the director here that one day I would come. So I've been expecting this trip for a long time. And I realize now that because of all the work, I will have to come back because I don't have time to visit and I don't have time to go elsewhere. So I need to come back to Poland.
But do you have already something that you connect with Poland, some special dish or menu?
The sweets, the desserts are super good, and I've tasted some interesting alcohol so far. So I can relate to that.
Okay, thank you for the conversation.
Thank you.
Okay.